Howdy folks, Grok the DuckFarmer here, and I'm on the FTOG Rails and Pipes pack. There was just a brand new version of it released with some changes and updates and fixes and all those good stuff, and it's just me and Nonsanity on the server right now. But I've decided to do something dangerous, something that could bring a whole lot of peril, in that I haven't tested it, and I'm going to go for it anyway. But we'll see what happens. What I have, let me look at my inventory. I have one of these slime cubes. Oh, that needs to be moved. I like it centered. Done. All right. Oh, hey, David Hyde just joined. Anyway, so slime cubes. I found this in a chest as I was roaming around. Slime balls, no problem. Nether star, big problem. But the cool thing about the slime is it allows slimes to spawn in a chunk that's not a slime chunk, which is really, really cool. And it says, you know, allow spawn at any height and do so significantly increased rate. Well, cool. Plus you can also flip it with the redstone switch and it stops it. So that is very nice. So I'm thinking, I am, that for that Botania area right over there, some slimes would be very handy over here. Now it says any height, and I figured, well, what the heck? I've got my quarry over there, and we might as well go down to bedrock and see how multiple layers work. Anyway, ka-dunk. This has gone ahead and drilled out everything around here, and it's a shame that it won't go through, but that's okay. I'm going to fill up everything here with just trash blocks and probably harvest out the obsidian out of the walls along with everything else, and that's going to be closed off, and we got to decorate it and make it look good, because, you know, that way I can hold off on, will this actually work? Because I've not used it before. I have used it in a slime chunk, and boy howdy, the slime chunk worked great, but I have no idea how well that works. It's a different pack. This is not a slime chunk, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I've not seen slimes around, so I'm guessing this is not a slime chunk. Anyway, I need to do a whole bunch of work here to prettify this, and then flatten out the bottom and see if the slimes will actually spawn. And then comes the question of, okay, killing the slimes, generating mana, and then moving that mana up so that I can access it over here in my little Botania area, because right now all I've got is this one pool, and it's less than half full. And I would like to get some Terra Steel going, because then I could have a band of mana that's the Terra Steel version, which holds a whole lot more, plus no, that's not the Ring of Magnet. Oh, this one here, the Band of Aura. A piece of Terra Steel on both of those will upgrade it, and that means I will generate mana much, much faster as I just roam around, because I use my lens flare here to go and put down lights, and I love that. It's hard to see them. They're not torches. Evil torches. And I went through here and I just removed all the torches in this area and lit them up with the lights instead. Plus, it's pretty cool. And you can sit there and say, I don't want that one anymore. And it's gone. And then you go, come back. And it's back. So, you know, being able to place lights like that is really cool. Anyway, this is all done, so I need to dismantle all of that and get the bits away. Let's see what I got. A whole bunch of basalt and a whole bunch of obsidian, and that's really slow going, but that's okay. Some of it I did, well, quite a lot of it I did manually myself while it was drilling other stuff around. And I voided quite a lot of the stuff in here, but I didn't void the sand or the gravel. Those I keep because I'm turning the gravel into sand so I can turn it into glass, because I'm going to be using some glass, maybe. I'm not sure what I'm going to cap this off with, but quite possibly glass. And I noticed this here. Haas came by and gave my area a 6 out of 10 for a distinct lack of ducks. And yes, there tends to be a very few ducks around here, partially because I was looking for feathers, and so I went around and I killed every duck that I could find. Speaking of ducks, I have also been coming around and finding spiders. Hello, spider. and killing the spiders so I can get spider goodness. I'm looking for the fangs from them, because with 36 of those, I can make a charm belt that protects me from spiders. Well, because, safety third. Anyway, yeah, I need to prettify this place, because this looks like an ugly hole in the ground. Can't have that. And what do we have here? Well, it's not just a big ugly hole in the ground. It's a slightly nicer looking hole in the ground, but it's still a hole in the ground. All right, so I went ahead and put the dark oak around because, border, and we got the spruce leaves because they look better than the other leaves, the too brown. And I left this hole here. Whoa, let's go back in here. So I've got a border on top and below, and then it's hard to see, but there's some marble behind there just to make it white. And we got the repeating lines of the dark oak going down. Everything's now nice smooth stone. There might be a little bit of andesite kicking around here that I have missed, but anyway, let's fall down here. Whee! Plop. All right, so we've got the fog here down at the bottom of bedrock. Let's get high enough. All right, so lots of lights around the side, a little bit of decoration. We got some lights here in the center, none of which should stop the slimes from spawning, because they don't care about the light level at all. And in all this time that I've been doing stuff here, nothing's appeared down here, which makes me think that this is not a slime farm. This is not a slime chunk, because if it were, they'd be occasionally spawning. Now, it did take my my peace candle and moved it over a chunk, because I think that matters. I'm not 100% sure. I may have to take that out. Anyway, the idea is that any of the slimes spawning on how many levels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels. Any of them spawning in here should just get funneled right down here to the center, which is the plan. And rather than just going splat and die, I want them to make mana for me. Which, if this is a good chunk to do so, well, why not? All right, so let's actually see if this is a slimeable area. Let's take a lever. That way I can turn things off. Ooh, there's some little green particles, which makes me think this is doing stuff. Cool. All right, now we'll let that do its thing, and I'm going to come over here real quick and make a few bits. Why am I over here? I want to be over here because I want to go deep, 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 deep. There's a Narslimus, and I've got water bucket. They actually do fill that up if you just kind of toss it there. Anyway, I need another seed. All right, so 2 Narslimus, whatever's they are. And let's toss those into there. Thank you. I need 2 flowers that I've got lots of. Looks like I got lots of these. 1, 2. That with some glowstone that makes glimmering. Dirt. Floating, and now these Narslimuses are floating Narslimuses. All right, so that's what I'm looking for, because those are what will eat the slime and turn it into mana, which is exactly what we're looking for. Thump. And nothing here. So I'm going to put those guys here, and just to make sure that things are working. I do have the wand with me. You go there. You go there. I should have put down the spreader first. So if there is any slime, then these guys will go ahead and pipe it into the I keep thinking drawer. That's not a drawer. That's a mana pool. And I'm guessing I can't be within, the range here, because then it's going to sit there and go, hey, I am not spawning anything because there's some doofus here. Because that's me. I'm a doofus. So I'm hoping that this will work. I've done other slime farms in known slime chunks, but this is the first time playing with this in a non-slime chunk, and I'm hoping that they will spawn even on top of these vector plates. And I made lots of vector plates, but I had plenty of sugar, which is the main thing to get. And the easiest way for me to do that was here with these beets. And I would just use the watering can and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and get several stacks of that, run it through the presser, and boom, sugar. And then also I got a whole bunch of the veggie bait. Oh, hey, I'm not seeing any turkey. Ooh, pork chop. That seems to be a new one. Anyway, all the raw stuff goes into here, and the rest of the mob stuff goes into here. There we go. Alrighty, so I'm gonna have to. The next thing I need to figure out is the Botania mana pump. Why is that? Oh, wrong key. So the mana pump is a great way to move mana into a mana cart, which we can also do. Mine cart with mana pool. So this will actually take a bunch of mana and move it up, and that's what I'm going to use, because hey, rails to move that up into here. Although I think I'll probably keep this place as is. I may set up a elevator in that corner just so I can have a little room down below with some the pools, and use sparks to move the stuff about. But first, I'm curious, have we gotten any mana? It's nighttime, so lots of mobs will be spawning elsewhere. And there's no mana here. Maybe it's a day thing only. I'm gonna guess it's a day thing, but I'm also gonna guess that maybe my peace candle has a larger radius than I thought, because it was by my bed, which, no, that's not what I wanted to hit. Alrighty. I wanted to hit F3G, and instead I think I hit F3T, which reloaded all my or not my chunks, but all the textures and everything, and I was going, anyway, so my peace candle was in this chunk, and I moved it one chunk over. Let's turn that off. And that may be too close still, because it said it had a radius of 3, which would mean you're in the center of a 5x5 chunk, which, let's turn that back on carefully. If this is the center of the chunk, 1 chunk over, 2 chunk over, well, radius 3. It would definitely stop that one. So, but if it's further out there, I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out. The sparkles are still here. Nope. Dang it. I sure hope this was gonna work. I have good news and bad news. The bad news is there's no good news. But the good news is that's all the bad news there is. Okay, old joke. The good news is, mana, it's working great. The bad news is it didn't work in that chunk. It didn't work in that chunk at all. But this chunk is working just fine. Now, I went ahead and moved it over here, and I haven't patched up a lot of this stuff here and gotten rid of, no, too much work at this point. But it has been working very nicely. And let's zoom on up. Currently, I have it turned off right here. You got the little redstone light that's turning that off. Well, I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. And it is this chunk. This is where it was. And this is not a slime chunk. In fact, if we grab our little slime in a bottle, it says this is not a slime chunk. And this chunk is not a slime chunk. But this one, yay, happy little slime in the bottle bouncing around. This is a slime chunk. Because while that made slime spawn, Botania is very particular about the Narslimus. It has to be stuff that is spawned by the chunk. You can't bring it in by a mod like something, a mod duplifier or stuff like that. It's got to be spawned in the chunk. And these guys were not doing that with the other one because it was being spawned by the mod and not the chunk. Now these, when they do spawn, and it's nighttime, so it's a whole lot of mobs elsewhere, they are spawning, and I changed it so that it's 5 high. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 5.5. Or 4.5. So that gives plenty of room for large ones to spawn, and I was wondering whether or not the other ones were. But yes, I've seen a couple of the large ones spawning. Now, what I have done, because I've noticed a whole bunch of little guys bouncing around here, which makes me think if a large one hits and these guys are full of mana, it doesn't process them. And so if a large one falls and decomposes, it's no longer a spawned mob from the chunk, it is a different one. And so it just sits here and bounces around and acts all spastic-like. So I doubled the number of these Narslimuses, and there underneath here is an Elven mana spreader pointing up into both of these pools. So hopefully it should pull the data, pull the mana through here much faster. And then we've got 2 sparks. This one is set up with a dominant spark. Now over here, it's hard to see, the rail comes in and it stops. We're going to do something with a mana pump here, which will read the amount of mana stored in the pool. And if there's sufficient, and this is setting a signal over to it. Hey, who just... Oh, that was a slime falling down, and it just got consumed. You can see it's bursting out some stuff there. So I was far enough away. That scared me. Anyway, when that is sufficient... I did. When this, I think it's like 13/15 full or something like that, then that will output a signal, wraps around, and there's a redstone repeater right there pointing into this block, which will activate this, which will send off the cart. And the cart comes rolling along here, and this is where... It is so dark down in Bedrock. This is where the old mob farm used to be. And you can see where I reclaimed the lights out of here and a bunch of other stuff. And I just said, don't care. It's nothing but bedrock at the bottom. They can't spawn on the rails here, so don't care. Over here, I've got the elevator track from Railcraft. So it just rides right up because there's a redstone signal on it. And then we get a little bit more tricky on the other end. So here we go. Whoop. This is, hey, it's the other end. So it comes up, it trips this detector track, which sends a pulse through here, and it's set on a 4 delay. So that turns off this booster track here. So it comes up and stops. And there's going to be a mana pool here, and this is in the wrong spot. This needs to be there. Let's put the spark on and the recessive. All right, because there's going to be a mana pump right here that reads the signal from this. And when the cart is empty, it'll go ahead and send it off. Now, the other thing this does is when it fires off a signal here, it hits this sequencer, and you can see in the right, I've got a bunch of little lights there and a delay of 10. What that's basically saying is it sends a current over to here, which turns off this redstone torch, which should be sufficient. When this comes back, it triggers this, and that's enough for it to go down, and then it'll power on as it's passed and done its thing. All right, so a little room down here. And we'll go up here. Oh, hey, look, we've got one of those elven gateways here. Surprise, surprise. And we got the pylons here with enough mana to handle that. And sneaky blocks here. So you can, they still look like the walls, but I can sneak through. I like hiding that stuff. Other stuff that I did over here. Yeah, we've got ups and downs all over this place. I can't really get much bigger in this room because right through that wall, here. Yeah, that's my ravine right through this wall. So I'm pretty much stuck. However, I found out as I was searching through, I was going, why can't I do this? Well, this is those little micro blocks in here. And so I was able to chop my glowstone in half, but still get light, and then chop down these covers all the way down to 1/8 the width of a block. So it gives me a pretty cool little effect down here. So here's my way of making terra steel, and this will pull from any sparks. Doesn't matter. And Grey Wolf was faster. And then this is my battery, because that one back down there, which is up, through, down. I wonder how far away it is. Yeah, it's right through there. That the cover right there. So it's really close. This is a recessive spark, and that will push to every other pools. So that's the plan. Now what I need here are 2 mana pumps, and I need to make a mana cart. Ta-da! Mana cart. Alright, so now it's down a little bit further. There we go. Down. And this, the pink side needs to go wrong direction. The pink side goes towards the... When in doubt, read the manual. I stuck it right here. The side of the pump where the mana will go towards is the pink one. The mana is pulled from the blue. Okay. I knew there was a pink and a blue. I just couldn't remember which. So it's pulling from the pink and going to the blue. If I remembered that right. Alright, so yes, it's pulling from the blue and going to the pink. Although that doesn't look pink to me. That's definitely blue. There's a nice little arrow that tells me it's pulling from there going to there. I'm going to go with that. Whee, thump. Oh, what's cool about the elevator track, that actually does allow you to climb up, which is very nice. Yep, see, there were a couple that fell and died. All right, now this needs to go from here to there. Yes, that should pull from here and go into the cart. Bump. And it's so fast. Just look at that mana just fly through. Okay, it's not enough. It needs a little bit more mana, and then this will fly through over to the other side and should work. Now there's a little bit of a hiccup in that, and I'll show you real quick. You know, I should patch the walls just so I don't have gaps in here, but I did so much digging, and well, the quarry did a whole lot of digging too, but I did so much work. When it comes up with an empty cart, and it was here, when it first went through, this seems slow enough that this is still charged. And so that acts like a charge rail that bounces it back. It again says, well, let's turn that off, so it'll stop. The comparator will say, yep, it's empty enough, so let's go ahead and unpower or send a charge through here, which will unpower this. No, the other way around. Because this is empty, this will, as soon as it's any empty, this will go through and lied. As soon as there's mana in the cart of any amount, it will send a signal through that turns this off and unpowers the rail so that it won't leave. Lots of knots in there. And so it'll bounce back, and the second time as it goes back, this will have enough time to have turned it off, and off it goes. So there's this little hiccup of, if it's here and it finally empties and it goes, we bounce, whew, and off it goes. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that completely. So, yeah, let's see what we got over here. Yeah, so we're a little bit less than a quarter, which is not so good. Let's hop down here. Check. Nope. It's not super rates of mana, but it's certainly beats trying to feed it with other stuff. Oh, that is so close. Can I right-click this? No. I'm trying to think of a way to see how much, but other than... Oh, there. It just slurped up a couple of those guys, and that's pumping a little bit more mana in there. So this is certainly working. Oh, I'm going to try one other thing really quick. And for this, I'm going to do a cut. And what's my cunning plan? I filled up my ring with all the stuff I had from up above. Ooh, it just got a couple more because I can see the light show. Let's drop it into here. There it goes. Yay! All right, a little bit faster. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to add one more power rail because with a person it's different. Oh, I'm not this fast. All right, and you can see the power went off. It is pumping it out, and that should stay off long enough for it to go back. Shoot. Thum. Isn't that cool? All right, so that's fun. And if I come in here, we've got almost a full mana pool right here. Oh, that's so nice. And if I go down, whoops, wrong down, this down, then I can dump that, and the mana's going up, and it's funky because it should be going through the blocks, but it really doesn't, and that's okay. It's just effects. Oh, again, this up, and this should give me pretty much all the mana that's available. This should always be there because that's a dominant spark. So much fun. All right, so that is doing exactly what I needed to do. I've got mana coming in very passively. It's not super fast, but it's certainly working. I wonder if, because again, I had trouble with this because I didn't test this in creative first. Sometimes you just kind of go live dangerously. But it managed to get it to work. But I wonder if those vector plates are stopping some of the spawning. Because in other mod packs, without the vector plates, those guys were spawning incredible huge amounts. It was filling up a bank of, and I had 25 mana pools, and it filled them up really fast. So I'm not sure, maybe it's just because it's a multiplayer server versus a single player. I don't know. But what I do know is I can get rid of these flowers because I don't need these guys here anymore at all. Because I've got a better way of doing it, and now there's no more tick from them. Although I do need to put down my pure daisy because 2 living rock is all I have left. So I will be processing the living rock a little bit later. Also, because I've got access to glowstone, you can see all those little glowing living woods scattered around just because, you know, it's cool. Even up in the ceiling. Oh, it's so cool. Anyway, I've been having too much fun with killing slimes for profit. And what's not to like about that? Anyway, this has been Grok the DuckFarmer here, playing on the FTOG Rails and Pipes pack. And I've got rails. And, you know, you can count the mana pump as a really short pipe. And thanks for watching. Bye.